Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I want to talk about Hardline. The game's been out for a while. We can kind of see how it's been playing out so far. I want to talk about my thoughts on the game and things that I think this game can do to improve upon itself, hopefully in the near future. They are working hard on a patch. I've already seen some of the patch notes, but I thought I would go over some of my ideas and observations since I've been playing the heck out of this game. And this is how you clear out B point with a gas tanker. Guys are holed up in this building. You just get the tanker close enough, blow it up. You can pretty much clear out the whole wing of this hotel complex. A little quad kill isn't bad to thin out their numbers, and then I can go back in there and clear out the rest of them. Okay, now let's talk about the balance of Hardline. You all know I love TDM. It's one of my favorite game modes for getting kills with weapons. You can just hop in there, shoot at other players, work on unlocking things for your gun. It's a good game mode except for in Hardline right now, whereas the spawns are totally insane. Now this is one of the #1 priority issues in the next patch coming out for Hardline. I hope they can really go through and fix it for all the maps. I hope they adopt a polarized spawning system where one team spawns all in one general location, usually on the exact opposite end of the map from the enemy team. This way you can kind of create a front line situation, have the teams clash with all their forces working together and from one direction. It still allows the possibility of flanking routes and stuff like that, but I think this is honestly one of the most successful TDM spawn algorithms out there if you can make it work with the map. The next thing I'd like to see changed is the elimination of the hacker in Team Deathmatch. This doesn't deserve to be in the hacker game mode. It can be very polarizing if only one team has the hacker, and it's basically there just to spot you on the minimap, which is the last thing you want to have happen in TDM. It's not a game mode that requires a hacker to direct the overall strategy of your team. It doesn't really belong in the game mode, and I hope they take it out. Now, aside from TDM, I would love to see a lot of other smaller changes made in the game. I think gun licenses should be unlocked at about 300 kills. It's still a pretty steep kill requirement to get a gun for both factions, but this way if you really like a gun, you don't have to get 1,250 kills with it to use it for both factions, which is something that I think only the most extreme of players will ever do in this game. It requires a huge time commitment, and it's not quite as easy to get a shitload of kills in this game as it was in Battlefield 4. There just aren't as many servers, at least on the PC, that cater to the sort of clusterfuck mentality. Now there's also a lot of weird funky gun animation stuff in the game. One thing right now that I really don't like is, I believe it's on the M16 and maybe the M416, is that the reload time is actually longer than the reload animation, and this causes me to basically cancel my reloads all the time by accident because it looks like I finished the reload before the reload is actually finished. So I would love for the animations to actually sync up with the time for the gun to reload. This is really annoying and should be fixed in the next patch. There's also a progression unlock that you can get for some classes that allows you to fast aim with weapons. This is a cool feature, except it looks like garbage when you actually do it. It gives you this very jerky, weird reaction look to it, and I don't like it. I think they should try and clean up some of those animations. Now let's talk a little bit about the professional class. First of all, I'd like to say that DMRs just aren't that great. I think they could use a bit of an upgrade, maybe a 2-shot kill potential in close quarters, and a guaranteed 3-shot kill at long range, even if you shoot somebody in the leg. You also get that little mask unlock called stealth training, and it basically makes it so you sneak around quieter and open doors more silently. This is kind of a useless unlock in my opinion. The game is so loud in general that having silent footsteps doesn't really help you out too much. It might on some of the smaller game modes, but in large game modes it doesn't give you enough benefit. I think it would be cool if it had the added benefit of being able to sneak past laser trip mines. This would give the professional class a lot more usability when trying to get up onto rooftops that have already been quarantined with laser trip mines, and I would love to see something like this because I think trip mines are already a little bit too powerful. Now as far as balancing trip mines, I think their blast radius should get reduced significantly. This way if they go off right next to your feet, they'll only do leg damage to you and leave you with about 10% health remaining. They can still one-shot kill somebody if they're, say, on the roof or at torso level when they go off, but if they're at your feet, which most of them are, they won't one-shot kill you. Also, a reduced blast radius will prevent your teammates from killing you when they run over a trip mine that you're about to disarm or something like that. This should also prevent the trip mines on TDM where players are just placing them at their feet when they spawn and waiting for somebody else to get the exact same spawn, walk forward 2 feet, and die instantaneously. Now let's talk about another big issue that I think has to be fixed in order for this game to be considered a balanced Battlefield game, and that is the boosting system. Boosts are fine, they're kind of annoying to use because you have to really anticipate what kind of playstyle you're going to have when you play, and it can kind of dictate the way that you choose to play depending on what kind of boost you have. That's the one thing I don't like about them, but they're in the game right now, they function the way they do, and you can use them to rank up. The only problem is that the boost actually affects your score on the scoreboard. I've mentioned this several other times, other people have mentioned this. You shouldn't be able to get MVP of the game because you have a 200% boost on and nobody else does. That doesn't make sense. It's not fair in the slightest, and that has to be removed of this game as soon as possible. There's also a giant problem with Hotwire right now, and I hate to say I told you so, but this was mentioned when the Hotwire game mode was demoed in the alpha to people. I mentioned that there's probably going to be people or servers that just set up Hotwire game modes where they don't kill each other and just drive around in cars and get massive points. This is happening all the time. I joined a server the other day that didn't mention in the title that you shouldn't kill people or anything like that. I joined in and I shot at somebody, and as soon as I got a kill, it kicked me from the server. Everybody in the server was just driving around in cars, getting tons of points and ranking up. They were all 100 or higher rank, and this basically makes it so that not only are people ranking up in a way that exploits the game, but the ranking system no longer has any value or meaning. No longer are you going to see a rank 140 player and say, oh man, that guy's probably a really good player. Nope, they're just exploiting the game. So at the moment, Hotwire is killing the stat system, it's killing the rank system, and it's got to be fixed. Visceral, get on that. Now everybody's been trying to get those camera coins for the professional Syndicate assignment so you can get your 300 knockout and use basically one of the most overpowered guns in the game. It's really annoying to be on the receiving end of this gun. I think it needs to be tweaked with its damage model, but also the camera coin system right now is a perfect example of achievements that should not be in the game. They should not put achievements in the game that require you to play in a manner that, one, doesn't help out your team, and two, prevents you from playing in a manner that's fun. Right now you want to place down camera coins in locations where they're going to spot people and then not engage the enemy or even spot the enemy because you don't want to spot over your camera coin. It's stupidly broken right now. I know Visceral's working on a fix for this, but they should make sure that assignments are actually making you play in a manner that helps out your team. Like giving ammo to your team, that's fine, that makes sense to include that in assignment, but don't make the assignment something that's going to force you to play in a way that's actually less beneficial to your team than you would be if you're just playing normally. Now let's talk about the mechanic and his body armor. You might not think it's that overpowered if you're running something like an assault rifle that can take down somebody even with a lot of health, but if you've got a weapon like a shotgun or a DMR, going up against a mechanic with body armor that reduces 50% of their chest damage is a death sentence for you. You cannot have armor plates that reduce 50% of your chest damage. I would prefer to have them removed from the game, but I think it would be a better solution to put that in and have it reduce explosive damage instead of bullet damage. You know, just change it up a little bit. Take that explosive damage reduction out of their progression system and make it something else, but you just can't reduce the bullet damage to somebody that much. It's game breaking. Now, something that was surprisingly not really addressed very well during the beta was the amount of screen shake during Levolution events. It is ridiculous, and it doesn't seem to have much of a radius restriction on it. If any towers falling down somewhere in a map, it's going to be really annoying on Everglades especially. It's going to shake your screen, it's going to throw off your shots, and it's going to be really annoying. They need to take that screen shake radius and reduce the heck out of it, or just get rid of it completely if they can't do that, because I hate it right now, and it's one of the reasons why I don't want to play Everglades, because people are always bringing down those towers in the middle of the map and it's just shaking the screen all the time. Now, if you've been playing a lot of Hardline, you've probably been noticing a lot of invisible walls and corners all over the place. This is something that is unbelievably aggravating, especially when you have something like a shotgun and you slowly peek around a corner, take a shot, and all your bullets go into an invisible wall right in front of your face. This is just too damn annoying. Visceral, you need to do another collision pass on your maps because the invisible walls are everywhere. Now there's certainly a lot of other smaller issues with this game, but I think these are kind of some of the bigger ticket items affecting the enjoyment and the balance of the gameplay as it stands. Now for those of you who are actually playing Hardline, I would love to hear from you in the comments. What do you think Visceral should be working on first? What should be number one on the priority issues? As always guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.